That's my best friend. That's my best friend.
Peace and assalamu alaikum. This is your brother Malcolm Flex TV, and we live. Told you I was gonna be back. We was gonna do a response to the latest video. There's a bunch of sensationalism going on. A whole lot of hype stuff. Okay, this is my second live video of the day. Ramadan Mubarak to the Muslims who's observing Ramadan. And I wanted to respond to this video. Okay. Now, the brother in his video, he's inciting violence with giving fake disclaimers. Okay? He wants to attempt harm coming to the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and members of the Nation of Islam, but he's trying to disguise it and mask it for so-called YouTube guidelines. Okay, he want to quickly throw the disclaimer in there that he's not inciting any type of violence, but in fact that's in fact what he's doing. Okay, he is accusing the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan of doing a heinous crime. Walaikum salam, Ramadan Kareem, sir. How's my brother? Muhammad is the one. So he's accusing the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan of a heinous crime, and he's playing a clip that he said that he didn't get off of YouTube, but we all heard the clip of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan when he was younger, when he made the statement that Malcolm X brought what he brought on himself, which is true. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said that he brought death to his own door by words that he was speaking. Okay, he scandalized the messenger, a man who has changed his life. Okay, and he's saying the case that he's making for his documentary is that the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan had admitted to this crime based on the fact that the minister said that the men that went up in there and assassinated Malcolm were fearless. Okay? And the people there who were supposed to be protecting Malcolm were cowards. Okay? These are his words. Right? But it makes sense what the minister is saying. What the minister is saying is right. And think about this logic. Walaikum salam, Brother Christopher. Think about this logic. Ramadan Kareem to you both as well. But think about this. Okay. When Thomas Hagen, the actual trigger man, was being interviewed, okay, by an interviewer. And it was a black interviewer too. You could tell that the interviewer kind of knew that Thomas Hagen was full of it, right? And why do I say that? Because Thomas Hagen had information, but he didn't really want to give too much information. You can tell in this interview, but he wanted to give just enough to basically vindicate the Nation of Islam and the former members that were in the Nation of Islam. Okay? And the question was asked to the trigger man, Thomas Hagen, that Malcolm was guarded. Okay, right. Malcolm was heavily guarded. Peace to Johnny Muhammad, and all of a sudden, Malcolm was heavily guarded by NYPD. Not to mention members of the OAAU and Muslim Mosque Incorporated. Not to mention these brothers carried weapons as well. But wait. So the interviewer asked the trigger man, Thomas Hagen. They said, well, you know that Brother Malcolm was always monitored and heavily guarded by uniformed police officers and ununiformed police officers, right? Are you aware of that? Thomas Hagen said no, he wasn't aware of it. You know, he just went up in there to handle his business. Well, and then the interviewer asked him, he said, well, you should have had to know that there were uniform and ununiformed police in there, you know, so what made you all so courageous and bold to walk in a Audubon ballroom into an auditorium, okay, with over hundreds, probably about 400 people up in there, and do a crime like this in front of all these people? What will give y'all the courage to carry out such an act? And the man couldn't really answer it. You know, and that's why the minister said that these individuals, for them to go in there and do that, was fearless men. Right? And then the minister said the people that were supposed to have been protecting Malcolm were cowards. He was right, because members of the OAAU and Muslim Mosque Incorporated carried weapons. These dudes carry weapons. Even Alex Haley said it when he used to ride around with Malcolm. You know, he would be in between brothers, and the brothers on each side of him had shotguns and handguns and rifles. These brothers carried weapons. So for these men to stroll on up in the ballroom and do what they did to Minister Malcolm X, I mean, there's either two things. It's either that you was fearless, or you knew that them ununiformed police was in there, and you knew that they would allow you to do what you was getting ready to do. And the men who had supposed to have been protecting Brother Malcolm did not protect him. Okay, now is the minister wrong for saying no? Just because the minister made that statement is not an admission of guilt. Muhammad is the one stated a key factor, young brother. The CIA had rented that infamous ballroom a week before Malcolm's appearance. Absolutely. That's right. Brother Dick Gregory made that statement that the Audubon ballroom had been rented out by the CIA, and the undercover cop Gene Roberts said that when they went there, it looked like a dry run, but it looked like a dress rehearsal for Malcolm's impending assassination. So there were four entities that were working together to assassinate Brother Malcolm. This is facts. Okay, that is facts. You know, but what the minister is saying is that yes, those men that was his followers, they should have been protecting their leader, especially if these men were armed. These men carried weapons. When these brothers thought that members of the Nation of Islam tried to burn Malcolm's family up in the house, they immediately, about 6 of them, I got the receipts. About 6 of them went to Muhammad's temple, went to the temple in New York, number 7, armed, strapped with weapons to retaliate on what happened to Malcolm. And those brothers that were outside, that were there at the mosque, they had to find whatever they can find, bats, sticks, rocks, bricks to defend themselves. Why? Because Muslims in the nation are ordered by the most honorable Elijah Muhammad to not carry weapons. So we know that Malcolm's followers carry weapons, but the members of the Nation of Islam didn't then and don't now carry weapons. Okay? So for them individuals to stroll on up in there, then that means that Malcolm's followers didn't handle their business. They didn't do what they were supposed to do. Right? Now, let me play this video of the minister, because he's saying that the minister admitted to it. But when you listen to the audio that he plays, that the minister did not give an admission of guilt or a confession. Okay? He just basically saying, okay, well, I mean, y'all let these dudes go on up in there and do what they did, and this is supposed to be y'all leader, and y'all trying to get at the nation? Like, what you gonna do to us that y'all should have did to the actual killers? That's what the minister is saying. That's not an admission of guilt. A admission of guilt is what Thomas Hagen did when he wrote out an affidavit, and in his parole board hearing, he named certain individuals who were allegedly involved. Said that he got the weapons, and he said that he or any of his accomplices ever received instructions coming from within the Nation of Islam. The brother said that we acted on our own. This is the words of the trigger man. This is Thomas Hagen's words. I got the receipts. Hold on right quick. Let me show you some receipts. Let me play the minister. Okay. Kind of blow this up. This is a receipt. See, I want to debate this brother. I want him to debate me. Tell him quit running. I want him to debate me. Tell him quit running. Look. Now, I'm going to read this article, right? It's by CNN, but they got the parole board meeting that Thomas Hagen had transcripts. Right, I'm going to read from the transcripts. Right? Okay, 2 other men, Muhammad Abdul Aziz and Khalil Islam, were also found guilty of murder in 1966 and received 20 years to life. Both proclaimed their innocence. Hagen, who eventually admitted his part in the murder, but he's trying to say Minister Farrakhan admit, no, that was not an admission of guilt. But here's an admission of guilt right here. It says, Hagen, who eventually admitted to his part in the murder, testified at trial and subsequent parole hearings that both men were innocent. Aziz was paroled in 1985. Islam was freed in 1987, the year I was born. At last month's parole hearing, this was back in the 80s, y'all. At last month's parole hearing, Hagen again maintained that Aziz and Islam were not the other assassins. These were actual members, former members of the Nation of Islam that he helped free. Right? The trigger man, Thomas Hagen, helped free 2 actual members from the New York Mosque number 7, Temple number 7. Okay, and it says, he said it was 2 other men who helped plot, plan, and participate in the killing. Question was asked at the parole board hearing. Did they receive orders from the nation to carry out the killing? Okay, this was the killer was asked. Did they receive orders from the nation to carry out the killing? And I quote, I can't say that anyone in the Nation of Islam gave us the idea or instructed us to do it. We did this ourselves for the most part. I'm going to repeat that again. Thomas Hagen told the parole board, I can't say that anyone in the Nation of Islam gave us the idea or instructed us to do it. We did this ourselves for the most part. Hagen told the parole board. Okay? So, my thing is, if you are not saying what the killer said. I repeat, if you are not saying what the actual killer said, then you have been hoodwinked, bamboozled, and led astray. I'm going to repeat that. If you are not repeating what the actual triggerman, the man that was there, we ain't even talking about the people who gave their testimony, right, and testified that Norman 3X Butler and Khalil Islam wasn't there, actual members, because Benjamin 2X Goodman, who was Malcolm's assistant, said that he didn't recognize any active members in the Nation of Islam being present because he was a former member of the nation and he knew most of the people in the Nation of Islam. And they all said that members of the Nation of Islam were not present that day. Okay? But let's hear what the minister has to say.
Malcolm went out of the nation. We all were hurt. At least I can speak for myself. I loved him. Next to Elijah Muhammad, I didn't know anybody greater than Malcolm X. It hurt me that he would go out of the nation. But then the worst hurt
Right. Come on, brother minister.
was Malcolm going to Mike Wallace.
Going to Mike Wallace, going to the devil.
Telling Mike Wallace, and listen to the words now, Elijah Muhammad fathered children from his teenage secretary.
Listen.
So Malcolm raised it to a moral issue. Listen to me carefully. Putting himself in the righteous position, putting his teacher in an immoral position, but then he's going to the white man to tell the white man what his leader and teacher had done.
Listen carefully.
Did it with Mike Wallace. You can't deny this. This is actual fact. He came here to Chicago and went to Cups and Net. When has Cups and Net been a friend of black people? And he told Cups, Elijah Muhammad, I thought he was a man.
Didn't he? He said that.
In other words, kept it a secret and whatnot. I found that he was less man than I thought. Oh. He dogged the messenger.
Dogged him.
The man that took him from a pimp,
Dogged him.
from a hustler, from a stick-up man, and sent him before the world. Now he's dogging his teacher.
Listen.
I think we felt.
Listen.
Elijah Muhammad wasn't just a leader.
Talk to him, brother
He's our
minister.
spiritual guide and father, brother. You don't have to order me to kill you. If you attack my father, my orders come from my love.
Listen.
I want you to hear me good.
Listen carefully. Watch this.
Every Muslim that loved Elijah Muhammad would have killed Malcolm if we had gotten a chance. No, I don't need no damn applause. I want you to think now. We didn't incite that. Malcolm incited that in us. He would have been dead. He would never have lasted a year. Elijah Muhammad told us, leave him alone. Leave him alone. Told me to my face, leave him alone.
Listen, family, listen. The minister just said that just off of GP, just off of the strength, that we would have did something to Malcolm. He said Malcolm wouldn't even lasted a whole year if we was really trying to get to Malcolm X. Because Malcolm had been out a whole year, man, from December 1963 all the way until his demise. Can y'all hear the minister at all? Can y'all hear the minister? Hold on 1 second. Yes, we live right now. All right. Peace. Yeah. Okay. The minister is telling us that the messenger said hands off of Brother Malcolm. I got clips where the messenger said that Malcolm came running to his door, but he never sent his followers to go out and to do anything to Malcolm X. I got the messenger's words. And the minister is saying if we really wanted to do something to Malcolm, he wouldn't have made it a whole year. So we had our orders in the Nation of Islam. We had our orders. Okay? And let me keep it all the way filthy, because a lot of y'all don't know why Malcolm said what he said. See, and we got the facts. We got real receipts. So we waiting for this documentary to come out, but I'm gonna let y'all know, my subscribers. I'm gonna let y'all know, because y'all been rocking with your brother. The reason why Brother Malcolm came out about the teenage secretaries. Now listen, I'm gonna tell y'all why he came out about the teenage secretaries. It was partially over Sister Evelyn, because that was his former girl. They used to be in a relationship. It was partially over that, right? But I'm gonna tell you when he really became salty, when he really got mad, right? When he was getting ready to start his own organizations, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad caught wind to what he was doing. And that's when the Honorable Elijah Muhammad ordered the secretary of the mosque to get the car back that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad had bought for Malcolm. It was really in the messenger's name, but he was letting Malcolm use his car, and to get the house back. That house that Brother Malcolm was living in was not Malcolm's house. That was the messenger's house. That was the nation's house. It's called a parsonage. So the messenger gave him a house, let him use his car, and was paying him $1,000 a week. $1,000 a week was a lot of money back then in those days. Okay, so when the messenger and they began to take Malcolm to court for the house. Okay, when they took Malcolm to court for the house, you can see the day that he was walking out of court with his security, and the media approached him, and they was asking him, what's going on between you and your leader, Elijah Muhammad. That's when he came out and he mentioned the teenage secretaries. So he was really upset and salty that they would try to get the house back that he was living in. That's when he came out with the teenage secretaries, because he had been withholding this information, because Wharf Dean Muhammad was dropping this in his ears. He had been withholding it, but after the messenger decided to confiscate the house and the vehicle back, that's when he decided to come out with it. He basically to get back at the messenger. See, a lot of these individuals don't even know the real motivation behind why he said what he said. But me, Brother Ben, have the audio that's 46 minutes long. And when he drop his documentary, we gonna let y'all listen to what Malcolm has to say himself. See, we done with people taking the minister's words and trying to twist the minister up on his own words, when the minister's tongue and his words cut like a double-edged sword. So you better be careful how you handle Minister Farrakhan's words, because you might get cut. Listen to what I'm saying. We're going to let Malcolm tell you. Let you hear from the horse's mouth. We done playing. We done with videos and perspectives of other people and everybody putting their own perspective and their 2 cents in it, man. They on pushing their own narrative. You know what I mean? Yeah. But the thing was, y'all need to understand something, family. And I'm talking about the people who subscribe to Malcolm Flex TV. Y'all need to understand something when you are defending this truth. That we don't have to knock Brother Malcolm. Because to be true, to be honest, that brother was set up. Listen what I'm saying. That brother was set up. And he was a victim of his own being hoodwinked, bamboozled, and led astray. He was a victim of his own words. He was hoodwinked, bamboozled, and led astray. I'm talking about Malcolm X. I'm talking about Brother Malcolm X. And we got the undeniable proof. We got the undeniable proof that brother was set up. And he allowed himself to be bit by a real hypocrite who was the son of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, War Dean Muhammad. He got bit by a hypocrite, a man who disdained his father for having children by other women, having other wives. He disdained his father and he didn't believe in Master Fard Muhammad. That's why in FOI class we have our books. We have our study guide. Hold on right quick. These books right here. These books. You see these books? Y'all see these books? These books teach us and explain how not to get bit. How not to get bit by a hypocrite. See? These books teach you how to identify a hypocrite. These books right here. See, so we are preparing and getting ready so we don't make the same mistakes that our brothers and sisters made in the past. And these some thick books too. These some thick books. But it got a lot of good information. It has a lot of good information. So, I mean, look. Again, don't be hoodwinked, bamboozled, and led astray. Don't fall into it. Because if a man claims to be a scholar, but he won't allow his scholarship to be challenged, he's not a real scholar. In fact, he has other ulterior motives. He even said it in his video. If you think that because I'm defending Malcolm X that I'm an agent, then oh well, F it, I'm an agent. Yeah. We was believing that from the get-go. We was believing that from the get-go. Hold on, brother said not only he became a hypocrite, but when Malcolm was in the nation, these so-called Pan-Africans couldn't stand him. When Ali refused to go to war, these same people said he can go. Yeah, but the thing is that Malcolm was always a Muslim and he always believed in Master Fard Muhammad. Okay, he believed in the program and the teachings of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, but he was reactive. He was in his reactive mind. So this where the genius and the wisdom of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan comes in when he has us studying Dianetics and getting audited. Because many of them brothers and sisters were very reactive. And the enemy played on that. COINTELPRO played on that. All they had to do was drop seeds. You know what I'm saying? That's why in our lessons, it teaches us to watch out for the seed droppers. Walaikum salam. Watch out for the seed droppers because they can germinate and they can grow. Okay? These seeds can germinate and they can grow. Do not allow yourself to be bit. And that's why we are taught to report all weakness, slackness, and wrongdoing. We got to kill the gossip and the slack talk in the ranks. Because a slinking devil, okay, whispers in the heart of men, casting firm solutions. I'm saying you got to watch out for a slinking devil whispering to the hearts of men, casting firm solutions. See, and Malcolm was the victim of that. Sadly to say it. See, but now he is being raised up as a saint. He is being resurrected. You know what I'm saying? To go against a living man, a living giant, a living legend in the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. But this time, the enemy isn't doing it. It's one of our own doing this. It's one of our own. He doing the work for the enemy. But the enemy is sitting back like, man, you dummy. We done already tried that. And it didn't work. As a matter of fact, Minister Farrakhan so bold, he said, man, release all of the FBI documents unredacted. Do y'all know what that means? That means when you get the files and you see them, they got the black stripes on them. They marked out with black ink. That means it's redacted. What the minister said, release all the files unredacted. You know what I'm saying? That means we want to see everything. We don't want to leave no stone unturned. We want to see everything that you all have on Malcolm X. Because they are hiding a lot of information. There were a lot of agents in the nation. There were a lot of informants. And what they do is they're trying to hide the identities of these certain individuals. But what the minister is saying, that it wasn't me. I wasn't a part of none of that. So I don't give a damn what y'all reveal. I want you to just reveal the truth, because I'm tired of y'all sitting this on my front door. I'm tired. I don't want to have to live with this. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm an innocent man, and no way in hell a man who is guilty of such crime will have the testicular fortitude to say, hey, I want y'all to throw me under the bus too. You know what I'm saying? If the brother was guilty, he wouldn't tell. As a matter of fact, he'd be the most quiet dude in the room. But the opposite, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan has been the loudest man in the room. He has been the most bold and courageous man in the room. So you can't tell me that this man is that psychotic. Because that's basically what you're saying. He is so psychotic and out of his mind that he works for the government, but at the same time, he's condemning the same people that he works for. That is just counterproductive. That don't make no sense. That defies the laws of common sense. That defies the laws of common sense. As a matter of fact, hold up. Let me see something. Hold on right quick. I'm going to share my screen. Hold on right quick. I want to show y'all something. I don't know if you've seen it or not. I want to show y'all something. Because, I mean, this is crazy. But I dare somebody come at me with a debate. I want you to debate me before the whole world. I got some clips I want to play for y'all. See, all these fake Malcolm X followers, okay, don't none of y'all go and visit that brother's grave on his birthday. Don't none of y'all go visit that brother's grave. You know what I'm saying? Don't none of y'all have no relationships with Malcolm's family. Y'all don't have no relationships with brother Malcolm's family. This brother that's making these claims, he didn't get approval from Malcolm's family to make a documentary about Malcolm X to so-called expose the Nation of Islam. Basically, what you're doing is opening up old wounds. You didn't get permission from Malcolm's family to do what you're doing. But let me play this clip. This is a brother from the OAAU. This is Malcolm's old organization. The one he had Muslim Mosque Incorporated, and he had the Organization of African American Unity. Here's one of the members, Brother James Smalls. Some of you may have heard this brother. He's a legend. Listen.
That's why I don't blame Mr. Farrakhan. I love Mr. Farrakhan. I will follow to the end of the earth.
Listen.
Yet we're going to have fights. That's why I don't blame Mr. Farrakhan. I love Mr. Farrakhan. I will follow to the end of the earth. He had nothing to do with killing him. Nothing.
What you say?
He had nothing to do with killing him. Nothing.
Who didn't have nothing to do with killing Malcolm?
I love Mr. Farrakhan. I will follow to the end of the earth. He had nothing to do with killing him. Nothing. Elements in the nation may have had something to do, but 99.9% of the people in the nation had nothing to do with killing Malcolm X. But the white man got us fighting against the Nation of Islam, one of the most productive black organizations in our community, for nearly 53 years now. And we can't seem to wake up out of that trance that they put us in. Yet when Minister Farrakhan makes a call, we'll all rally to the call.
Now, that's an actual member of Malcolm's organization who said the minister didn't have anything to do with the death of Brother Malcolm X. That's Brother James Smalls. He knew Malcolm personally. Okay, young Pharaoh didn't know Malcolm. Said he didn't know Malcolm. Polite didn't know Malcolm. Okay, here's another brother, part of the OAAU, Brother Reggie. Let's see what Brother Reggie has to say. We talking about actual members from Malcolm's organization. But we want to know, we want to know what they think about you fake Malcolm X followers. How many of y'all visited that brother's grave? Come on, laptop. Man, we going so hard, man. The laptop want to go slow. Come on now, you got to catch up. Well, don't worry about it. Y'all can go to my page and watch.
There's a lot of people I wanted to.
Oh, hold on.
I said there's a lot of people.
Hold on.
They get up there and say, well,
there we go.
I don't deal with the minister because of Malcolm X.
Look.
Now,
right. Let's talk about that.
Haj Malik El-Shabazz, right? For us, an Asur, respected elder.
Listen.
For us, he is our teacher, right? That made, even though he had a teacher, he himself was taught. If there was no Elijah Muhammad, there would be no El-Haj Malik El-Shabazz in the capacity that we know him. So we give thanks to all of them. But I get a lot of pushback. I'm 54, so I was born 1 month after he was assassinated. But they don't love Malcolm X.
Listen.
For the 54 years of his assassination, we have been taking people to his place of his final resting place with his wife.
Listen.
They don't come. They don't know Malcolm's family.
Right.
They don't support Malcolm's heritage. They read something and they think they know him when if you ever met him in the early days, he would just point to Elijah Muhammad and say, that's the man that you should follow. And then later in his life, he offered something for unity. That's why I'm here. I'm representing my teacher, El-Hajj Malik El-Shabazz, in the capacity of organization of Afro-American unity.
Listen.
To continue to try to find some unity among us.
Malcolm's organization.
But I tell you, those people who say that they love Malcolm, every year, Brother James Small, Brother Starks, right, and under the command and Rodnell Collins, under the leadership of the sister Ella Collins, who is no longer here, Sister Ella Collins, asked pilgrims to come and to pay respect. It is the longest running pilgrimage holiday in the history of Black folks in America.
Listen.
And many of them say that they love Brother Malcolm, but they've not been to those activities.
Listen.
They love him in their mind, but that's just reactive, because the fact of the matter is, to love you can't just love Malcolm. You have to love your people. And to love your people, you have to cry, and there's pain. Very few people have more pain about El-Hajj Malik El-Shabazz's death than the Minister Louis Farrakhan. He lived in that time period. He asks himself, were there things that he could have done? Right? Was there? I was at the Apollo Theater when Malcolm's wife, Sister Betty, was there to meet Minister Louis Farrakhan and the First Lady Khadija. After the many years, you would have to be there to see the expression.
Go ahead, brother.
So much they lost in that so much time. The families. And here there is the issue where Malcolm's daughter is being accused of trying to assassinate or being part of assassination of Mr. Louis Farrakhan.
Wow.
And Black people are in this place. And if you weren't there, you wouldn't understand the great strengths that our people have to go through for unity, right?
Wow.
And so, but those people who said it, they weren't there. They weren't asked to come. They weren't asked to come because they didn't love neither of those people. They don't love our people. What they want to do.
They didn't love Malcolm or Elijah Muhammad. They didn't love Malcolm or Elijah Muhammad. They didn't love Malcolm or Minister Farrakhan. Listen what I'm saying, man. I'm showing you people that are from Malcolm's actual organization, from the OAAU. Ask young Pharaoh, Cyrus Susan Seti, and all these other dudes, are they part of the OAAU? You know what I'm saying? Or do they mess with James Smalls and Leonard Jeffries? Somebody talk black to me, man. You know, somebody talk. Even Malcolm's. Oh, y'all couldn't see that. Okay, my bad. Cause I got it on live on my screen, so y'all couldn't see it. But listen to me. These are actual members. Hold on.
3 men, all followers of Elijah Muhammad, were arrested and later convicted of killing Malcolm X.
Not sure what happened. But anyway, hold on. Computer's doing what it's want to do. All right, let's get back to it. Hold on, my bad. Okay, it took me to the, you know, the marathon continues. The marathon continues, family. But yeah, you know, ask these individuals, are they a part of the OAAU? Okay, ask them, do they have any affiliation with any members of Malcolm's family? Those who are making this claim, did they ask them, did they get approval from Malcolm X's family members? Because my thing is, I feel like people are playing and capitalizing off of the family's pain and suffering. That family has suffered and been through enough. That family has suffered and been through enough, y'all. You know, so why do you keep trying to reopen old wounds? That's my question to the people who hate the Nation of Islam. Okay, we get it. Okay, we understand that you don't like our minister. Hold on.
3 men.
Okay, we understand that you don't like our minister. We understand that you don't like the Nation of Islam. But why do you want to drag Brother Malcolm's family into this madness? Think about that, man. Why do you want Malcolm's family to suffer even more? Why do you want to drag them into this? We understand you don't like the nation. We understand you don't like the work that the Nation of Islam is doing. You don't like the way we look. You don't like the way we dress. You don't like the way we talk. You don't like the way we walk. We get it. We understand it. You don't like these handsomely good looks. You know what I mean? The nice suits and the bow ties we wear. You know, I mean, come on, man. Y'all even jealous of the bean pies. Come on, man. Y'all can't even make a good, decent pie, man. We understand you don't like the pie, man. I mean, come on, man. We get it. But why you want to drag Malcolm's family into this? What did Malcolm's family do to you? Why you want to rehash old stuff? All this stuff happened over 50 years ago. Here's what the killer said. If you ain't saying what the killer said, man, you suspect.
3 men, all followers of Elijah Muhammad, were arrested and later convicted of killing Malcolm X. 2 of the men, after serving 20 years in prison, have been released and maintain their innocence. The 3rd man remains in jail and, even though he has admitted to the murder, denies receiving any direct order to do it from within the Nation of Islam, have been released and maintain their innocence. The 3rd man remains in jail and, even though he has admitted to the murder, denies receiving any direct order to do it from within the Nation of Islam.
Come on, man. Look, if y'all not saying what Thomas Hagen is saying, you suspect. I'm just saying, if you ain't saying what Thomas Hagen, the killer, the trigger man, the man that said, I was there. And the Nation of Islam didn't give us any direct orders to assassinate Malcolm X. Did none of us get orders from the Nation of Islam to do it? As a matter of fact, we did it on our own. So let me share some common sense with y'all, because y'all can defy the laws of common sense, right? But I want to bring you all back down to earth with logic. Now, if Elijah Muhammad says to his following, leave Minister Malcolm X alone. Don't do anything to him. Let the brother be. You know what I'm saying? Let him continue on doing what he's doing. Don't none of my followers. This is an order. This is a command. You know what I'm saying? This is more than just instruction. This is a command from your leader, your spiritual guide, to leave Minister Malcolm X alone. Now, if anybody who considers themselves a true follower of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, a true member, okay, and they go out. Okay, well, let me rewind it, because a true member wouldn't do that. If anybody who considers themselves a follower and a member of the Nation of Islam and Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and you go out and you commit a act such as what was done to Malcolm X, you're not with Elijah Muhammad. You are not with the Nation of Islam. Because we teach, when you wrong, you stand alone. But when you right, you got the nation's right. the nations might. Okay? So you're not with the Nation of Islam. Therefore, anybody who has any hang-ups about what happened to Malcolm, you can't blame that on the Nation of Islam, because those individuals went against the wishes of Elijah Muhammad, the leader. They went against the wishes of the Nation of Islam. You can't fault the Nation of Islam because some rogues went and did what they did. So the question is, you have to ask them, who are they working for? Because they didn't do that for Elijah Muhammad. They didn't do that on the behalf of the Nation of Islam. Nation of Islam ain't got nothing to do with that. Just like James Smalls said in that video that 99.9% of the members of the Nation of Islam had nothing to do with that. That's like me, for instance. I'm a member, well-known member of the Nation out here on the West Coast. But we are instructed in order to not carry weapons. Okay, I'm giving y'all a hypothetical. And I decide, hey, I'm going to go up. As a matter of fact, I'm going to take up arms against the teachings of the Nation of Islam, but I'm going to go take up arms. Okay, now, question to the chat room. Now, is that the Nation of Islam, or did I do that on my own? Did I do that on my own? Somebody talk black to me. You can't, you know what I mean? If one of your followers come and do something to a member of the Nation of Islam, although you gave a disclaimer out there, brother, you put a disclaimer out that you wasn't inciting violence, but if one of your followers come and did something to a member of the Nation of Islam, you going to say the same thing. You going to say, oh no, I didn't tell them. I didn't give them that order to go and do that. I gave a disclaimer in the video for nobody to go out and do something. You know what I mean? You're going to do the same thing. So how can you get mad at the nation? You know what I'm saying? You can't be mad at the Nation of Islam. You can't be mad at Elijah Muhammad and the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. You did that on your own. That's what I'm saying. There's some people in here with some common sense. Okay, now, when we go to the receipt, when we go look at the receipt, okay, let's look at that receipt again that I showed earlier. Thomas Hagen, the killer. This is the killer right here, y'all. This not him. This the killer right here. Okay, this man right here. Okay, I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna read a statement that he made to the parole board. Here's a statement. They asked him a question. This is what the parole board asked him before he paroled. Did they receive orders from the nation to carry out the killing? And he said, I quote, I can't say that anyone in the Nation of Islam gave us the idea. He said that the members in the nation didn't even give him the idea. Listen, the messenger didn't give him the idea. Louis Farrakhan didn't give him the idea, right? Or instructed us to do it. Now here's the kicker. Because he said the nation didn't give him the idea or instructed them to do this. Right? Now here's the ending. And then he said, we did this ourselves for the most part. Listen. The man said we did this ourselves for the most part. So my question to the critics of the Nation of Islam, how do you get Louis Farrakhan killed Malcolm X out of that? I'm talking about the killer, the trigger man, the man that did this. How did you get Louis Farrakhan did it out of that? How did you get the Nation of Islam did it out of that? That's what you call an admission of guilt. This man wrote a full affidavit in the 80s. He wrote a full affidavit and got two other men vindicated that was actual members. But how did you get Louis Farrakhan out of that? How did you get Elijah Muhammad, Nation of Islam out of that, yo? Y'all are defying the laws of common sense, man, and real research. And I challenge anybody, any Negro that want to get on a platform with your brother and we can discuss this. I don't give a damn who you is. I don't care who you is. And I want y'all to bring these bootleg receipts y'all got that y'all carrying. Because I'm going to say it again. The minister's words cut like a double-edged sword. So you better be careful how you handle the minister's words because you might get cut. See, we was born for this time. There's some of us, the youth, that we were born for this moment. Okay? And listen, family, I ain't worried about June 1st. Because I'm going to represent regardless. I'm not worried. It ain't nothing that this man can come with that's going to shake my faith, shake my foundation. There's nothing that this man can come with that can destroy my foundation, because at the end of the day, I know what Allah, Elijah, and Farrakhan has done in my life. I would not be here right now if it wasn't for Allah, Elijah, and Farrakhan. You know what I'm saying? I can put my life on what I'm saying. I can put my life on what I'm saying. I got so much faith, man, in the Lord of the worlds, his messenger, and now the exalted Christ, and his Messiah that is in our midst, who is the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. Man, I can lay my life on the line for this. And be satisfied and be happy with a smile on my face. There's nothing that this man can say that can shake my foundation. Because I wanna rise above the stage of just a believer and into a knower. Family, we gotta know that the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is who he say he is. Okay, we got to know that our man is right and exact. Okay, just like Baba Taj said, this is nothing but regurgitation. Okay? And he said that if it wasn't for Allah coming here in the West, we would have been, what he say? We would have been like fish on a frying pan getting ready to jump into the skillet. Or something like that, the brother said. He was cold. But yes, we got to rise above the position of just being believers and into nowheres. We got to know that these teachings is real. We got to know that our leadership is real. And it baffles me, man. I'm like, man, I'm sitting there hearing this brother, and he's saying F the minister, F his family, and when he come out, if the minister was to die, he gonna do a video the same day talking that talk. And I'm like, man, the minister got some cold sons and some cold grandsons, man. Like the Supreme. I'm like, man, Elijah Farrakhan. I'm like, man, like, bro, like, this is not what you want. Bro, this is not what you want, and that's why it baffles me. Like, how can you, going up against a structure like the Nation of Islam, go up against a structure like the Nation of Islam with nobody backing you, no resources, no human resources, unless you got the hidden hand behind you, unless you got the CIA and the FBI and the Illuminati behind you to go up against the Nation of Islam. I mean, when there was a situation in LA, and God forbid we have to go through this with our people because we love our people. But we are not no busters. We are not no punks. And one of our brothers, I'm not gonna say his name, but this is our first officer, man. Brothers got a call, man, of some domestic situation with one of the brother's neighbors, man. Cause I guess because we wear the suit and ties, man, we punks, we busters. And he tried one of our brothers, and things occurred, and we basically terrorized a whole gang. Listen, a whole gang. Like, they could not sleep at night. And not because this is, we like to do this to our people, but it's like, no, we got members of the nation that live right here, and y'all people are gangsters carrying weapons and all that, and y'all are being aggressive. Y'all are aggressing upon righteous people, peaceful people. And we struck so much terror in these people, man. And we didn't even do nothing. We were just everywhere. We didn't do nothing. We were just everywhere. They like, oh, cuz these niggas everywhere. Excuse my language. But this is what they were saying. To where that terror forced them into submission. Forced them into a peace agreement. You know what I mean? So for an individual who nobody even really knows him out in his own community like that, and he's not even in one of the big cities in New York, he's in the small city. He can't go to Harlem and all them cities like that with that stuff. And he knows it. But what I'm saying is, for him to just have the arrogance, the gall, he's taking it past scholarship now. Because when you are dealing with scholarship, then you don't mind people vetting your information and debating them, okay, and having a dialogue with them, because it's basically a war of information. That's it. But he's taking it a step above that. And it's no longer about the information anymore. See, now he's going into the realm of destroy the Nation of Islam. See, and that's the problem. That's the fundamental issue. When you get to talking about destroying black organizations, that's when we have to look at you and to check your pedigree, check your pulse, check your heartbeat, and say, hey, man, who are you working for? Okay? Because we don't talk about destroying other black organizations. As a matter of fact, we work with anybody who's willing to work with us. This is a fact. The Nation of Islam, we will work with anybody who's willing to work with us. That's within the black and brown community. Because we want to build up the community. But when you get to talking about destroying this one and destroying that one and destroying that one, then brother, what are you asking for? What are you trying to do? What are your motives? Are you trying to arouse and incite so much hatred of the Nation of Islam that the masses of our people decide to take up arms against the Nation of Islam and totally dismantle and wipe out the nation and go to war? Basically, what you are saying is that you want to have a civil war inside of the black community. Think about this. You are asking for a civil war in the black community, but you are too scared to say it. See? So you cast doubt. You lie. You create red herrings and straw man arguments to disguise your true motives. You are really trying to disguise your true motives, okay, by saying it's scholarship. But if it was really about scholarship, we have people in the nation that will debate you. I will debate you. If it's about scholarship. But you don't want scholarship. You want to do a smear campaign. You are working pro bono for the enemy. See, you talking about you were channeling Malcolm X's spirit. You're not channeling Malcolm X's spirit at all. He does not share the same. Really, Malcolm wanted peace. He didn't want to go to war with the nation. He knew he couldn't go to war with the Nation of Islam. So you were doing actually opposite of what Malcolm wanted. And even before his speech, he was saying that he was getting ready to say that he told Alex Haley and his assistants that at the same day of the speech, he said that I'm going to stop saying that it's the Muslims doing all of this stuff, okay, because I know what they can do and I know what they can't do. And when what is happening to me is beyond what they can do. This is Malcolm's words. See, so how can you come up and say you are defending Malcolm when you contradict Malcolm? You can't defend the man and contradict him at the same time. That's an oxymoron. See, and that's our issue with this situation. That's part of the issue. You know, not only you going against Malcolm, you are going against his family. You're going against Malcolm's family. His own daughter said that the nation didn't do it. His own wife was on stage in solidarity with Minister Louis Farrakhan and the nation. His own members of his own group, the OAAU, said that Minister Farrakhan and the nation is innocent, is not guilty of this man's assassination. So if you are on the sideline and you are trying to make a case when there's no case, okay, really you contradicting everything that Malcolm stood for. So who are you working for? Who are you working for? Are you working on your own desires? On your own accord? Because what you're saying ain't in harmony with what the family said. What his actual followers are saying. Okay, so why are you doing what you're doing? You can't say that you're defending Malcolm. You can't say that. You can't say that you're defending Malcolm. Because if you're going to defend Malcolm, then you would defend him against the real enemy. You would defend Malcolm against the actual trigger man. Why are you banging on a minister who never admitted to assassinating Malcolm, but you won't bang on the actual trigger man who actually admitted to killing Malcolm? Somebody talk black to me. I'm going to repeat the question again if you didn't hear the question. Why would you bang on Minister Farrakhan, who never admitted to killing Malcolm, but you won't bang on the actual trigger man who admitted to killing Malcolm? And the man is still alive today. He living. Matter of fact, he's over there where you at, New York. The man is over in New York where you at right now. He paroled from New York State Prison. But you ain't did not one video. You haven't done not one video on the actual killer, Thomas Hagen, or any of the people that he mentioned in his affidavit. Okay, you ain't did not one video, but all of your videos, Nation of Islam this, Louis Farrakhan this, Reza Islam this, Brother Ben X this, Dr. Wesley this, and you talking about ministers clout chasing? Nah, you clout chasing. I'm going to tell you why you clout chasing, because you ain't never attacked the real trigger man. The man that said, yes, man, I'm the guy one of the guys who shot and killed Malcolm. He flat out said it. But you ain't got not one video talking about him. See, you sus. You real suspect. You know, as a matter of fact, I got some Alpha Wine here that need to do a weapons check on you. Need to pat you down. Make sure you ain't packing. You know what I'm saying? We gotta check your temperature. Family, we gotta check your temperature. You know, cause you real suspect. You know, and family. I'm not saying what I'm saying out of malice. Okay, I'm not saying what I'm saying out of hatred for this brother. Because at the end of the day, he's still my brother. He's just ignorant as hell. Still got love for the brother, but man, it's hard to love somebody, man, who's dogging out your leader, your spiritual leader, man. It's hard to have love. But this is the ultimate test right here of your faith, man. And in the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, man, because all those who curse the minister, man, he still gives them a blessing. And that is mind-blowing. I be like, man. And we be like, man, y'all lucky to minister here. I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying, man. I mean, it's hard, man. And we love you because we know who you are and what you are, man. We know that the God is in there. We know Allah is in you. Okay, but see, just as Master Farrakhan Muhammad told the messenger that many of us are being other than ourselves. So really he was calling us little black devils. So that's all the brother is being right now. He is being other than himself. He's being other than himself, and that's why, you know, we don't wish no harm on this brother. You know, but he underestimate us, man. And the reason why I'm saying he underestimates is not that because of what we can do. He underestimate our purity. He underestimate how good of a people that we are. He get to talking about all this righteous stuff, but what he's doing is very unrighteous. There are a lot of good believers, man. A lot of good brothers and sisters in the Nation of Islam, man. The ministers, man, is a wonderful man. You know, brother don't have to do this. But somebody and something is putting a battery in his back. Somebody's putting a battery in his back. Brother Ali Shabazz said, nobody wakes up with so much hate and vengeance unless they're working with the government. Nobody in the Nation of Islam did nothing to him. Absolutely. We didn't do nothing to this man. But he can't get us confused with Nature Boy. He can't get us twisted with Nature Boy. And he definitely learned when he got on live with Brother Reza. Brother Reza tore that ass up. You know what I mean? And then when I jumped on the phone with him, he didn't want to debate. I said, I'm trying to cut to the chase, man. Let's set up the debate. You talking this scholarship stuff. Let's set it up. But he's trying to go around, oh, I don't know you. Bro, you see me in live videos with Brother Ben and stuff. You know who I am. You call my phone. You know who I am. But see, what I mean is he's clout chasing. He thought he was going to get Dr. Wesley on the phone. See, he's going for prominent members in the Nation of Islam because they will drive traffic to his YouTube channel. And all those, if you don't know, the more traffic you get, the more money you can possibly make. So it's about traffic. It's about views. Okay? Yeah, I mean, I ain't nobody, but I mean, I'm somebody willing to step up to the plate and say, hey, I'm not going to let you disrespect my brothers and sisters. I'm not going to let you disrespect my spiritual leaders. So, yes, let's set up a debate. Nah, I ain't got 100,000 followers, but what I got is these receipts right here. I got these receipts right here. And I got the backing of my nation. I got the backing of the members of the Nation of Islam. I got the backing of Almighty God Allah when the believers with me, because they are Allah as well. The people is Allah. So when I got the people with me, I got Allah with me. And that's all I need. That's all I need. I don't need 100,000 subscribers. I don't need 100,000 subscribers. I just got the weapons that Allah blessed me with, and that's the weapon of truth, and the weapon of love. You know, but family, don't when this alleged expose come out June 1st, do not be dismayed. Do not be dismayed. Do not be distraught. Do not get weary. Okay? Do not get weary. Okay? It's nothing but a trial, and trials purify, and truth, trials must, I'm trying to think of the saying. Trials are necessary to establish truth. Okay, so this is a trial that's necessary to establish truth. So don't get weary, do not be dismayed. Everything happens on time and in time. Why? Because Allah is when the enemy plans, although he ain't the enemy, he's a brother, but but he's acting like the enemy. White-minded man in black skin. But when they plan, Allah is the best of planners. So let them, because they plan to lay a trap for us. See, that's what it is. They plan to lay a trap for us, but will end up stumbling into their own trap. Okay? And every knock is a boost. So y'all can keep throwing rocks. Okay, but don't throw rocks when you live in a glass house. You know? But I see some brothers and sisters in the chat. You know, I want y'all to post what city y'all in. So I want to shout y'all out in y'all city. You know, if you can, post your cities in the chat or your state. Where you from? I want to know where my viewers are from. I want to shout y'all out for joining your brother tonight. I'm not sure if y'all can hear me or not. Pretty sure y'all can hear me. But yeah, if y'all want your brother to shout you out, I wanna shout y'all out. If y'all can post y'all city and state in the chat. We got brother Ricky from Greenville, North Carolina. We got Stone Bone Boxing, Colorado Springs, Colorado. We got brother Mark Muhammad Jr. That's my brother. All love. Louisville, Kentucky. We got Daniel E. Muhammad from Daniel E. Muhammad. We got Troy Scott from Philly. Brother Torres from Chattanooga, Tennessee. We got Married with Kiki TV from Kingstree, South Carolina. Okay, brother Daniel from Chicago. Okay. Brother I am Saluddin. I think you forgot to post your city and state, beloved. But it's all good. But yeah, those receipts are fake. You know, you can't, there's no way you can take the minister's words out of context that bad and say, oh yeah, he confessed and admitted to killing brother Malcolm X. Like, no, that was not an admission of guilt. I just showed you all what an admission of guilt looks like. This is what an admission of guilt look like, y'all. Okay, well, hold on right quick. Let me send some more shout outs. We got Saladin from Las Vegas, K Solo from Oakland, California, my brother from up north. We got Paul Mack from Dayton, Ohio. He said, brother, please send prayers this way. We got hit with a mean tornado last night. Yes, sir, man. We need to send out the prayers to the brothers and sisters because I didn't been around them tornadoes, man, and them is serious. Them ain't no joke, man. For real. We got Muhammad is the one from Bronx, New York. We got B More Go-Go from Baltimore. Brother said he missed most of it, though. Brother from Mosque number 6, all praises is due to Allah. Mosque number 6 in the house under Brother Carlos Muhammad. That's our brother. Yeah. I mean, the brother ain't got no real receipts, man. And just if you missed it, I'm going to play a receipt for you right quick. Play a receipt for you, man. The man saying that the minister admitted to killing Malcolm X. That wasn't an admission of guilt. Okay? But I'm going to show you what an admission of guilt looked like.
3 men, all followers of Elijah Muhammad, were arrested and later convicted of killing Malcolm X. 2 of the men, after serving 20 years in prison, have been released and maintain their innocence. The 3rd man remains in jail and, even though he has admitted to the murder, denies receiving any direct order to do it from within the Nation of Islam, and maintain their innocence. The 3rd man remains in jail and, even though he has admitted to the murder, denies receiving any direct order to do it from within the Nation of Islam.
See, that's what an admission of guilt looked like. So don't let people come with the fake receipts and talking about, oh yeah, the minister said this and the minister, yeah, he said a lot of stuff. Don't mean that he did it. Okay, it's a difference. It's a major difference. And here's a question before we go, and I close with this. Before we go. Okay, if Thomas Hagen, okay, wait, hold on, let me rephrase it. If Minister Farrakhan was guilty of the assassination of Malcolm X, if he played a direct role in orchestrating this heinous crime, why did not the actual trigger man, Thomas Hagen, named him as one of the players or participants in the assassination of Malcolm X? I'm going to ask that again. If Minister Farrakhan was guilty of a role in participation, I'm not talking about just saying just random words, you know what I'm saying? You know, because he was upset with Malcolm. He was obviously upset with Malcolm. Many members in the nation was upset with Malcolm. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the minister having direct contact and communication with Thomas Hagen. So if the minister was guilty of killing Malcolm X and admitting to killing Malcolm X, then why didn't Thomas Hagen, the man who pulled the trigger, why didn't he ever mention the name of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan as one of the participants in the murder of Malcolm X? The killer never referenced or mentioned or even insinuated the minister as being a part of the killing of Malcolm X. So answer somebody, when we dealing with these stupid brothers and sisters, because I mean they stupid and ignorant, blind, deaf, and dumb. When we dealing with them, ask them, why did not the killer, Thomas Hagen, refer to Minister Farrakhan as being part of Malcolm's assassination? Why didn't he ever mention or insinuate that Minister Farrakhan was involved? I'll tell you why. I'm giving y'all the answer, but I want y'all to ask them a hypothetical question, but I'm going to give y'all the answer. Because Thomas Hagen said it right here. He said it right here. Here's the answer. He said, I can't say that anyone in the Nation of Islam gave us the idea or instructed us to do it. That's why. That's why they can't tell you if Thomas Hagen ever referred the minister as being a part, because it says right here, his confession to the parole board, I can't say that anyone in the Nation of Islam gave us the idea or instructed us to do it. We did this ourselves for the most part. That's why. So when you talking to the blind, deaf, and dumb, 85% lost found members of the Nation of Islam, ask that question. Okay, if the minister is guilty, then why didn't Thomas Hagen ever confess that Louis Farrakhan was involved with the death of Malcolm X. Ask them that question. Because really, when you asking them that question, you are setting them up. You setting them up. You setting them up for the knockout blow. Because if they don't know why he never, Thomas Hagen never referred or confessed or insinuated that the minister was involved, is because he never said it in the first place. Matter of fact, he never said that the nation ever told them to do it in the first place. That's why. And that's how you win the argument. See, so we gotta defend. We gotta defend our leader, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. We gotta defend him and the nation, because when we defend him, we defending ourselves. That's what the messenger said. When your leader is being attacked, you being attacked. And if you sitting around waiting for the leader to defend himself, then you ain't no help at all. You ain't no help if you ain't willing to defend your leader. So I'm just saying, I just wanted to conclude with that question. So family, this is your brother, Malcolm Flex TV. You know, I thought that I bring some type of solidarity. I hope that this video was able to give you some kind of strength and resolution to not be weary of any events that's taking place in this regard. Don't even worry about it. Allow it to happen. Let it happen. Okay? Because everything submits to the will of Allah God, who came in the person of Master Wallace D. Farr Muhammad, knowingly or unknowingly. You know what I'm saying? There we have enemies who does Allah's bidding and don't even know who's doing his will and don't even know they're doing Allah's will. Everything in the universe submits to the will of Allah God, knowingly or unknowingly. So what young Pharaoh could be doing is really an act of God. So we got to let it all play out the way it's supposed to play out. You know? So, again, this is your brother, Malcolm Flex TV. You know, I appreciate you all for watching and joining us tonight with this live broadcast. And, yeah, I see you all on the next live video. May Allah, and also may Allah continue to bless all other believers, all of the brothers, sisters in the chat, and also bless the members of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan's family, you know, and bless the believers' family as well, and bless the members in the chat rooms family, you know, because we can all use a blessing. So this is your brother. I love you all. And we out. Assalamu alaikum. I still see your shadows in my room. I can't take back the love that